Hello folks, so we are approaching September. This month will be calmer than the last 2 months and certainly more than the upcoming month of September. We have a Jupiter retrostation happening. Venus is going direct on the same day, and of course Mercury will also go direct this month. So let's speak about September. September starts with Mars and Moon opposition in Pisces, Virgo, and Venus retrograde in Cancer. But right before the 1st of September, on the 31st of August, we have another full moon, which is the second one in August. It's in the early hours of the 31st of August in Aquarius, in Shatavisha, close to Saturn, retrograde Saturn, aspected by a retrograde Mercury from Leo. So here we know that there's some culmination happening. You are going back. You're going back to some event, some situation, some problem. It could very well be a problem because we're talking about Saturn and Mercury across from each other, both in retrograde. And you are trying to once and for all resolve it. So this is sort of like the ending of August, and we're going into September with that Mars-Moon opposition, which can feel a little bit, you can feel a little bit anxious now. September 4th, things will improve because Jupiter is going retrograde and Venus is moving direct. So certainly when it comes to relationships, you will get more clarity. I made a separate video on both of these transits, Jupiter retrograde and Venus retrograde as well. So have a look at that. Jupiter's aspect on Rahu is now going to be positive till the end of October because it's going to manage some of that Rahu impulse, right? Because Jupiter is moving now towards Rahu. It's going back. And Rahu is moving away from Aries. So we like that. And Venus movement forward will also be a welcome for many. In the early hours of September 15th, we have a new moon in Leo in the nakshatra Uttra Falguni. This is a prominent moon cycle as it gets the aspects of Jupiter, Rahu, and Saturn. Jupiter being the strongest aspect, see where Leo falls in your chart to see where you can be productive, to see where you can get a bit of luck on your side, where grace is flowing towards you. So see what Leo represents for you. Mercury is retrograde, of course, during this new moon. And it's actually extremely strong because right after, just a few hours after this new moon cycle, Mercury goes direct. So check all communications at this time. On September 29th, we have a full moon cycle in Pisces in Uttarabhadra, marking the culmination of a very long chapter. See where Pisces falls in your chart to understand what's happening. Being that it is aspected by Mars, something may end with a bang at this time. Month ends with a Venus Gandant in Cancer, bringing us back to August the 7th when we last experienced this. Yeah. Month will feel mild compared to the last few months. So it's a good month to relax a little bit. So for Aries, what's happening? To begin with, Lagna Lord maintains its position in Virgo, your 6th house. So it's a good time to look into health matters that have been troubling you. You can finally get some resolution. Hidden strengths can also come to the surface now. If you're facing some health issue, if you're facing some disputes, some disagreements, now you can see victory. You can also see an agreeable ending. You will now be able to find the answers. Keep things simple where possible, because you may feel a little bit stressed at this time. Seva can be beneficial, and so can chanting the Shadakshri mantra. Relationships could have felt challenging, so don't make any firm decisions in this aspect of your life till October. Jupiter will start to move toward Rahu, which will give you some relief, as hosting Rahu and Jupiter with two malefic aspects could have felt stressful for the past 2 months. Yeah, because you had the aspect of Saturn as well as Mars. It's a good month for domestic matters. You can see some progress now when Venus moves direct, September the 4th. You can gain via property, either buying or selling, or simply moving into a new home of your liking. Lots of home-related matters will be on your mind. You could be clearing the clutter, redesigning your space, moving, buying, selling real estate. It's an excellent time to spend at home, especially with your partner, if you have one. Romance can feature now. With an excellent placement of Venus, you can also meet someone new at this time. If you meet someone new now, it can be a very profound connection. Excellent month also for income, especially if you are self-employed. Mercury's movement through Leo can be difficult for communications. There's a new moon also in your 5th house, and that can be very good for business activities. It can show some progress. Saturn's retrograde cycle can help you complete some old work. Career. If you were redesigning your career in some way, you could be like putting some finishing touches on that. It would be a good time to do that. If you had some pending karma related to old connections, it can dissolve once and for all with the Saturn retrograde. It can be connected to your image or career in some way, this Saturn retrograde phase. Sun moves into your 6th house, putting focus on work and routines. There's a full moon at the end of the month in your 12th house, so it's a good time to retreat, to unwind. First half of the month will be busy, and second half is better to take things easy, if possible. So for Taurus, for you, you start the month with Lagna Lord Venus in your 3rd house. So there's a feeling of escaping your problems, and you might very well do that for a while. Venus back in Cancer is good for taking some business initiatives. It's good for travel. It's good for spending time with your hobbies. Mars is now in your 5th house. If you're self-employed, you may see some changes in your work life. If you have children, there can be some challenges with them at this time. On September 15th, you have a new moon in Leo in your 4th house, making it a good time to spend at home. There may be some changes in your domestic life with so much focus on Leo in the past few weeks. You could be dealing with some property issues as well. Mother's health could have been problematic at this time. Lagna Lord turning direct on September 4th is positive for you. Though in the 3rd house, there can be some experience. You can be experiencing some issues with your neighbors, with your siblings. Watch your thoughts now, as they can be quite negative. With Saturn moving retrograde in the 10th house, old actions can also come back to haunt you. Its aspect on your 7th house is not good for marriage or close relationships, where you may be experiencing some challenges. Jupiter going retrograde is positive. It's 8th Lord in the 12th house. You would need to go back and revisit old issues, including health matters, insurance-related issues, finances. Yeah. Be watchful of anxiety. You may have trouble sleeping now with Rahu in the 12th house. There's a full moon happening in Pisces at the end of the month, which can bring some old connections back into your life. It's a good time to go out, to socialize, meet friends. Second half of month is better for you than the first. Yeah. So, Gemini, what is happening for you? Well, for you, of course, the month starts with Mercury, Lagna Lord, in the 3rd house. retrograde. Good month for learning new skills. It's good month for going back and networking with old connections, career progress. Earnings can get a boost at this time. Coming up with new sources of income is featured. So with a little bit of research, you can get some good results here. Family life should be good at this time. Mars in the 4th house can be difficult, though, for your domestic life. You may be dealing with some problems at home. It could be repairs. It could be something in your living condition that needs to change. If you need support from others, friends, networks, you can find it now. Also a good time to focus on finances. Excellent time to make changes and see growth in this regard. Relationships with siblings can suffer now, though, and if there was some issue with your father, that can come to the surface. Yeah. Double check facts now if you're taking advice from experts. There is a full moon happening in your 3rd house in Leo, mid-September. So there can be some disagreements, miscommunications with those in your immediate environment. So be watchful there. It could be family, it could be neighbors, it could be colleagues. Yeah. Double check emails, texts before sending, as usual. Lagna Lord goes direct the same day of that new moon on September 15th, which will feel like a relief. Venus direct from September 4th will, of course, also soothe some potential mishaps that you would have been experiencing for the past few weeks. There is a new moon in your 10th house on September 30th, which can help you get sorted financially. Good time to organize yourself now. Direct energies towards your career and networks, as the domestic scene can be challenging at this time. If there are health issues, then this is the time to get yourself checked. Lagna Lord being aspected by Saturn can put pressure on you at this time. If you have your own business especially, or if you're self-employed, you will feel it the most. It's a good time to get some relief through your hobbies, things that you enjoy, reaching out to friends, just talking things out, just chatting. That will bring some clarity. Overall, the second half of the month is more peaceful than the first half for you. Cancer, for you, you will continue to host Venus in your 1st house for the entire month. So the focus will be on your status, on your image, your relationships. Your relationships are on the cards now. You will be thinking a lot about that. You have a new moon in your 2nd house on September 15th. This brings relationships to the focus as well. It's a good time for business matters to see some progress now also. Yeah. 4th Lord Venus in Lagna may have you going back and forth also with property issues. A move could have been on the cards for you, and you may be still sorting that out. You may be starting a new chapter as far as your home life is concerned. You may be spending a lot on home-related matters also. Yeah, if you're employed, it's a time to negotiate a better salary. So much focus on the 4-10 angles means some foundation is being redesigned in your life. 10th Lord Mars in Virgo is a good transit for you. It's a great time to organize your finances. Some very beneficial travel can also come up now. Mercury going direct on September 15th is another good transit for you, especially when it comes to money matters. Yeah, Mercury being in your 2nd house. Overall, this month, you're focused on how you relate to others, your relationships, your domestic life. And the 2nd half of the month can be very productive. And you can see some good outcomes then. Leo, what's happening for you? Well, for you, the month starts with Lagna Lord in the 1st house, still receiving Saturn's aspect. So there could be a feeling of heaviness. But the exact aspect, the opposition aspect to Saturn has passed, which was in the last week of August. So it's sort of a waning aspect. There could be, however, because of that Saturn looking at Leo, some pressure regarding your life path, your life direction. You could be thinking about these things. It's a good time for reflection, to plan, take some small steps, maybe to move towards your goals, especially when it concerns relationship matters. With the Hermit going so strong, if there was ever a time to go for the plunge, to change your life in some way, then this is the time to do it. Mars in the 2nd house is good for dealing with finances. Watch your speech, however, at this time. You could be provoked easily. Yokarka Mars stays in Virgo all month. Excellent transit if you are in a family or you have a real estate business. You could see a hike in income and profits at this time. 10th Lord in 12th house could have felt difficult for career and image. When Venus goes direct on September 4th, you will see some progress here. It's an excellent transit for long distance travel at this time. Foreign connections can be very beneficial now. There's a new moon in your house mid-September, so there could be some fresh starts now. Some caution with communications is advised because Mercury is still retrograde. September 15th onward can feel like a relief with Mercury going direct in your first house. On September 17th, Lagna Lord moves into Virgo, putting the focus back on wealth and on relationships, especially family matters. And Mars will be there. There's an excellent yoga for money and for relationship matters. It's the 9th Lord with Lagna Lord. Luck factor will improve and you can see some breakthroughs in real estate matters as well as in money matters. Jupiter going retrograde can bring some beneficial travel, especially to a place where you have been before. If you have been studying a new subject, you can also see some breakthroughs now. Rahu is about to exit Aries, which will be a relief as it will stop aspecting Lagna. Enjoy this month, especially the second half. Second half can bring some opportunities to connect with others, especially from abroad. Yeah. Virgo, what's happening for you? For you, the start of the month again will be Lagna Lord Mercury in your 12th house. It's an excellent transit for travel. Something could come up very suddenly. You can also see some big expenses come up suddenly now too. It can be a separation with a family member or a significant other with so much energy in the Dushtana houses this month. Investments can also undergo a loss. If you maintain the status quo, that's the best thing to do rather than take some risks at this time. New moon mid-month in Leo is also in your 12th house, so try to disconnect and take some time out if possible. Unexpected factors can feature, resulting in out-of-the-blue events. So if you can take some retreat or time out for yourself, it's really good for you. Venus in Cancer going direct is an excellent transit for you, especially good to connect with friends and social networks. Also good for income earnings, which would have been good throughout this Venus transit, actually. Mars in the first house can make you very reactive now, so be watchful there. It's basically 8th Lord in the first house, so you may need to watch for health and stress levels now. Sun moves into your first house mid-month, which brings excess energy. It can make you very impatient, especially if you are moon in Virgo. You are in the process of many life changes, so something in your appearance can change now, or even your status from single to coupled or vice versa. That can happen quite quickly. Full moon at the end of the month in your 7th house also points to change in relationship status. Mercury Lagna Lord going direct on September 15th is a relief. Another transit pointing to inward focus, right, in the first half of the month because Mercury Lagna Lord is in the 12th house. Life will pick up pace dramatically in the second half of the month though. So it's a good second half of the month to go out, socialize, network, and mingle with others. Yeah. Libra, what's happening for you? Well, for you, similar to last month, you again are focused on connections, networking, socializing. Mid-month, we also have a new moon in your 11th house, accenting these activities. For some, you will be able to secure new job opportunities now, if you have been looking for that. You continue to host Ketu in the first house and Rahu Jupiter in the 7th. So much energy in your 7th and 11th houses can make you feel very extroverted now. People will be reaching out to you as well at this time. So if you're single, now is the time to make yourself more visible. Get out, meet people. It's still difficult energy for attracting a stable relationship, but certainly you will have the opportunity to meet more people. And I think it's a very good idea to do that. Lagna Lord remains in your 10th house all month. Again, making you more extroverted. It's a great time to also put energies into your career and your work life. Many of you may be embarking on a new career or a new job at this time. Venus moving direct on September 4th can also have you feeling more extroverted. It's a great month for being more visible, being seen by the right people. There'll be focus on earnings, making strong connections, career. If you give attention, if you put some attention on your long sought goals now, you can achieve them. This Venus transit is excellent for that. Yeah. Ketu in Chitra will make you reflect on what you need in a relationship and in a relationship partner. You may feel the pressure from a relationship partner or a commitment, or you can see people coming to your life and leaving just as quickly. 7th Lord Mars in 12th house can feel frustrating when it comes to others. Meeting someone from abroad is a possibility. Old relationships coming back into your life right now is a very big possibility. And a relationship that has been troublesome for a while can quickly dissolve also. Sun moving 12th house is also difficult and can make it difficult to express yourself adequately at this time. Mid-month, there is a new moon in your 11th house. And that can bring some new opportunities, new connections your way. Many people will demand your attention this month. A full moon in your 6th house on September 30th can put the focus back on career and your daily routines. So overall, it's a good month for you, Libra. Scorpio, for you, what's happening? Lagna Lord moving through your 11th house is an excellent transit. It can result in being the spotlight at your work front. Earnings look good. If you wanted to create a new source of income, now is the time to explore it. Difficult transit of Saturn continues for now, especially for your home life, which may not feel satisfactory with that Saturn in the 4th, right? Particularly if you're a Scorpio moon. You may be feeling pressurized to make big life decisions at this time also. And certainly in your intimate relationships, you can feel that pressure. Venus going direct in Cancer on September 4th will be helpful for relationships. Situated in the 9th house, it can make you more dedicated to studying, travel, and it can improve relationships with your father also. A good time to take advice from experts, especially with old pending matters. Old relationships can surface now, especially from faraway lands. Mid-month, there is a new moon in your 10th house. Great for career beginnings, new jobs, new projects. Good also for getting noticed. With Saturn's aspect, it could mean that you're readjusting your image, your career in some way. Right. It's a good time to change your routine for the better with Jupiter Rahu in the 6th house. Jupiter moving retrograde now is positive for you and can reduce some problems in your life. Trying new regimes like yoga, a new spiritual practice can work wonders at this time. Yeah. There's a full moon in your 5th house around September the 30th. Excellent for those who have their own business. Sun in the 11th house mid-month can bring some positive developments. Great time to connect with network circles, with friends. Also good for generating additional source of income. Overall, it's a good month for you, Scorpio. So, Sagittarius, what's happening for you? For you, the month starts with Lagna Lord Jupiter going retrograde in the 5th house on September 4th. This may feel like a drop in your energy levels. You can accomplish a lot first half of the month with a 5th Lord in the 9th house. That's quite supportive for you. Favorable foreign connections and businesses from abroad and travel could also feature. Mid-month, you have a new moon in your 9th house in Leo, so harness this energy. All planetary transits are supportive for you. Venus in the 8th can feel difficult, though, for relationships. And you can see some changes in money matters also at this time. Maybe an old source of income dried up and you have to create a new one. You can see some ups and downs and struggles with money issues that would have been ongoing for a few weeks with this Venus transit. Yeah. If you have children, take care with any issues that come up with them at this time. Relationships from the past that surfaced can see some resolution now. Perhaps a break can happen quite suddenly. Mars moves through your 10th house. This is again the best transit this month for you. It's 5th Lord in the 10th house, so it can bring some lucky breaks. Sun will join there mid-month, bringing a lot of focus on career matters. Excellent time to see progress. Excellent time to take progressive actions without any worry. Month ends with a full moon in Pisces in your 4th house, so good time to relax at home. You can be busy at home now. Capricorn, what's happening for you? For you, the month starts with Venus still in your 7th house. Excellent for work and business matters. For relationships, you could see some people return from the past. Yokaraka Venus in Cancer may bring some domestic interruptions connected to changes in your relationship, in your partnerships, in your status. This is a life-changing transit for you, especially where it concerns committed partnerships. It can feel like an unsettling time, however, right? You have a new moon taking place in your 8th house on September 15th, confirming some instability with your relationship or with your business partner. Mars in your 9th house will feel like a relief for you. Its 4th lord in the 9th house, again, suggesting some change in the domestic atmosphere is featured. Quite possibly a move abroad can also feature. Maybe you're planning that move. Maybe you're taking a trip abroad. Mars aspects your 12th house, which suggests, again, foreign connections can manifest easily. Lagna Lord in the 2nd house can continue to impact family life. There may be many demands on you at this time, and money flow can also feel adversely impacted at this time. Sun moving into the 9th house mid-month can also mean some disputes with the father or fatherly figures with Mars's presence there. Yeah. A new moon takes place in your 3rd house on September 30th. And it's a time when you will feel very busy. Daily tasks, lots of talks, catching up will feature now as Mercury goes direct. There are quite a few shifts taking place in your life now. 2nd half of the month is easier to deal with and more beneficial for you. Aquarius, what's happening for you? You are hosting 10th Lord in your 8th house, which can bring some unexpected career shifts. With a new moon in your 7th house, if you work for yourself, this could be a time when you can start something new. A new project, it could be. A new client can come through, for example. You're still hosting Saturn in the 1st house. Sadhi is intense now if you are an Aquarius moon, which can bring some disinterest in life activities, generally. And certainly some out-of-the-blue events can manifest. Saturn here in the 1st house also creates fear. If you're in Sadhi, you can actually feel quite a lot of pressure in your relationships also at this time. Venus goes direct in the 6th, which can bring buried tensions to the surface now, especially in close relationships. There could be some disagreements with younger siblings also at this time. Pay attention to your health, as Saturn in the 1st house can bring health issues. Yeah. Sun's movement into your 8th house doesn't help either mid-September. It can increase the challenges with partner also, with your spouse, business associates. Mars being in the 8th confirms this as well. Now is not the time you'll be able to assert yourself because others will have the upper hand. Yeah. A new moon on September 15th in your 7th house again puts partnerships as the primary focus. You can be dealing with many demands now. A busy 3rd house can help you be active and keep you going. Something physical can help you to maintain that balance now. Full moon in the 2nd house can be a good time to connect with family, to deal with some of the chaotic events that may come up at this time. Pisces, what's happening for you? For you, with Saturn in the 12th and Mars in the 7th, be careful with your dealings with others, especially in close relationships. There can be conflicts now, especially with the 7th Lord, also in the 6th house, retrograde. So keep the communications as clear as possible. It is a good transit for students, though. If you're in a relationship, though, the spouse can be quite demanding at this time. Sun joining in the 7th house confirms this, right? It can be difficult for relationships. Lagna Lord goes direct, good time for reflection, especially matters connected to making money. Also good time to reconnect with your family. Venus going direct same day is helpful in your 5th house. You can undergo a completely new direction in life. It could be pertaining to your business, your life path in some way. New moon in 6th house can have you sorting through some old problems. This is a month where you will be dealing with some old issues that are coming back. Overall, lots can come up this month, especially from past relationships. Lagna Lord Jupiter in the 2nd house is a supportive transit for you and can help to balance some of this erratic energy due to its aspect on your 6th house. It's a good month for those that have a business or are self-employed. You can enjoy a good steady month of profits. There's a full moon in Pisces in your house on September 30th, 29th, 30th, depending on where you are in the world. And this will bring the focus back to you. A good time to connect with others also at this time. Yeah. All the best, folks. Cheers.